All right, let's dive in. Today, we're breaking down the new battlefield of the 21st century, and it's a conflict that's being waged not with bombs, but with bits and bytes, where the ultimate target is the human mind itself.
So, let me ask you a question. What's the most powerful weapon in this new era? You know, if stealth bombers or aircraft carriers are the first things that pop into your head, well, you're thinking about the last war. Today's real weapon is way more subtle, and it's aimed directly at you and me.
You know, this idea isn't exactly new. More than 2,000 years ago, the legendary strategist Sun Tzu said, "All warfare is based on deception." And while that core principle is timeless, the methods and the sheer scale of deception have gone through a radical technological revolution.
For centuries, the rules of the game seemed pretty simple, right? The nation with the most tanks, the most ships, the most planes, what military folks call kinetic superiority, was almost always the winner. But that's just not a guarantee anymore. The game has been completely upended.
Okay, so let's track how we actually got here. For generations, conflict was pretty straightforward. It was fought on land, sea, and in the air. Then, in the 20th century, we added space as a fourth domain. And more recently, of course, cyber became the fifth. But now there's a sixth domain emerging, and it kind of sits on top of all the others: cognition, the human mind.
To really get this, we need to understand the infrastructure of this new battlefield. There's a term for it, the technium. That's the entire technological ecosystem that we're all plugged into. We're talking servers, fiber optic cables, your smartphone in your pocket. It's the whole physical and digital foundation for this new kind of conflict.
And then there's the second piece of the puzzle, the noosphere. So if the technium is the plumbing, the noosphere is all the water flowing through it. It's the sum total of all human knowledge, every idea, and all the information, both true and false, that now lives in the digital world. This has literally become the medium of modern warfare.
And this is where it all comes together. The technium provides the pipes, the noosphere is the stuff flowing through them, and the cognitive domain, well, that's the ultimate target. The goal here isn't to capture land or destroy a factory. It's to influence thoughts, to shape beliefs, and to control the decisions of individuals and even whole populations.
So who's fighting this war? Well, the battlefield is way more crowded than you might think. Sure, you've got the usual suspects, like nation-states, but now you also have massive corporations, the attention merchants, vying for our clicks. You've got these decentralized ideological groups, and even vast armies of automated bots carrying out attacks at a massive scale. And because the combatants have changed, of course, the weapons have changed too. We've shifted from the kinetic, physical force of tanks and planes to the invisible weapons of the digital age. Bots that amplify certain messages, fake news engineered to destroy trust, and incredibly sophisticated algorithms that are designed to target our deepest cognitive biases.
Now, what makes this new kind of warfare so incredibly potent is the fuel it runs on. Data. Our data. We are getting very, very close to what philosophers used to call the panopticon. Basically, a world of total surveillance, where our every click, our likes, and our movements are all being recorded and analyzed, creating this incredibly detailed blueprint of our minds.
So, in this complex and, frankly, pretty dangerous new environment, how does a nation or an organization or even one of us prevail? It's not about having more stuff anymore. Victory now depends on achieving one single critical goal: cognitive superiority.
To really drive this point home, the source material uses this, well, it's a perfect metaphor. It says that cognitive superiority is the one ring to rule them all. And the idea is that it's the ultimate strategic advantage. If you can dominate the cognitive domain, you can influence and direct every single other one, from the economy all the way to the military.
So, how is that actually achieved? Well, it requires a massive framework built on 5 pillars. First, a national grand strategy, something on the level of the Manhattan Project. Second, a huge push to recruit the absolute best talent. Third, a system of lifelong education that creates adaptable thinkers. Fourth, a deep mastery of persuasion science. And finally, you've got to have rock-solid cyber resilience.
But here's the crucial takeaway. This is not some abstract, futuristic conflict. It is happening right now, in our social media feeds, in our news, and in the stories that shape our world. And that leaves us with one final, and I think pretty provocative question. In a world of weaponized information, how will you defend your own mind?